Stressed out about studying for the PMP exam? Don't be. In this video, I'm going to give you the cheat code to pass the PMP exam on your first try. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to make this quick video to talk about the PMP test. I know a lot of you, if you're preparing for the PMP exam, you are probably feeling a lot of things right now. You're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed, maybe excited, anxious, uncertain, all of these types of feelings that you would have in preparing for the test. You want to know if you have studied everything that you need to study. Do you know the information inside and out like you should or you want to? And, you know, all of those feelings are normal. I had the same types of feelings. I had the same anxieties, questions. And, you know, just stay encouraged. You know, it's going to be okay. Just continue doing what you're doing, watching the videos that you're watching, studying the material, go back and review the courses that you needed to do in order to sit for the exam. It'll all start coming together before you know it. And the reason I'm making this video is because I wanted to share with you some of the things that I use or techniques that I found that was very helpful for me in passing the PMP exam. And I want to pass that on to you and maybe offer this bit of advice for anybody who's looking for a different perspective on things. Some things you may have heard before, but maybe I have a different perspective on it that could help you. So for me personally, I'll give you a little history. I've been in project management for well over 10 years now. I've managed projects, large and small scale. I've been involved in multiple projects, either as the lead project manager or working with other project managers on different software solution projects. My field is in IT, so I do a lot of software implementation projects where I work with vendors who have their own project managers, and I'm the project manager for the organization that I work for. But anyway, I just recently, in 2025, decided to go ahead and pursue my PMP certification. And the reason being is because I just wanted to make sure that I keep myself valuable in the industry, marketable in the industry, no matter if it's with the company that I'm with now, and who knows, things could change at any moment. So you always want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward if working for an organization is your goal. So that's why I pursued my PMP, and I'm happy to say that back in early August of 2025, I actually achieved my certification and passed the PMP exam on the first try. And so I contribute a lot of that success to the training that I had, obviously, sitting through those 35 PDU hours. All the information that was shared was extremely helpful. And then watching a lot of YouTube videos from other people who have passed their exams, some of the coaches that are out there doing the practice exams on YouTube and things of that nature. So I did a lot of different sourcing of information in order to get all of the information that I needed to pass the exam. And in that process, I developed a technique or a system that's a combination of things that I gleaned from all of these different sources. And so what I call this process is the ADC process. And that simply means applying this technique to the questions on the exam helped me get the answers right. And this was not just the actual exam, but even in the practice exams that you'll be taking. And so ADC stands for apply, deny, and comply. And so I'll break those processes down. So with the apply part of this technique, it simply means apply the PMP mindset and apply the Agile mindset to your PMP exam questions. Now, the questions that I'm referring to are not the questions that deal with formulas, the EVM formulas, nothing like that. And it's not the questions that deal with what I call regurgitative type of questions, where you have to define or identify a particular process or where they are in the project and things like that. So this is specifically related to questions that are scenario based, where they set it up as a project manager is in the middle of a project and this particular issue is going on, and you have to determine what is that project manager or product owner's best approach to resolving that question. And so this is what the ADC technique will be most useful in, is getting through and navigating those scenario-based questions. So as I said, apply the mindset of the project manager or project management mindset, and apply the agile mindset. And so we know, as project manager, the project management mindset is to lead and guide and facilitate the project through from start to finish. It's understanding your role as a project manager and what you are expected to do, and making sure that the answers that you select align with that particular mindset. And the same goes for the agile mindset as well. The agile mindset is a servant leader. It's about collaboration. It's about leading your team and removing any impediments that your team may be facing, hosting stand-ups. It's information radiators, things like that that align with the agile mindset of a project manager. And so your answer choices in these scenario-based questions should align with either the project management mindset or the agile mindset. And so you want to eliminate any of those answer choices that contradict those two mindsets. Then you have the D, which is deny. And this is a very powerful step in the problem solving process, because you've probably seen these videos before where there's like 6 of these denial criteria that you want to weigh your answer choices against. And it's: don't hire, don't fire, don't ask for money, don't ask for help, don't delay, and don't do nothing. Those are the 6 things that you want to weigh the answers to, or weigh your answers against, to see if they actually meet that criteria. So we'll break those down a little bit. So with don't hire, don't fire, right? So anytime you see an answer choice where it talks about adding people to the project team, or hiring a consultant to help do some work, or maybe take the team out on some long team building retreat in the middle of a project, these things like that require you to hire additional support. And that goes against the agile or the PM mindset as well. And so you don't want to hire people in these answer choices. Now, in real life, it could be a different situation, but we're talking specifically about answering these questions right on the PMP exam. And then don't fire. Just the same thing. You'll have answers that talk about isolating people, or doing one-on-ones where you can pinpoint, the one person that's not following the rules or that's causing a disruption. Those may not say fire right off the bat, but they can allude to the possibility of releasing somebody from the team. And so don't hire, don't fire. Those are like the first 2 lines of defense that you want to look at for the answer choices that are available. And then after that, you have the don't asks. So don't ask for money and don't ask for help. So I'll start with don't ask for money. And this goes to whenever those answer choices talking about increasing the budget, or bringing on something that's going to add more money to the budget. That's basically asking for more money. It talks about going to the sponsor and asking for additional funds for this or for that. Those are not the right answers on those particular answer choices. So you want to stay away from those answer choices. And then don't ask for help. So this one can be a little tricky, because as a project manager, you will need to get help. And the help that you're going to need is typically going to come from the project, your team, right? So you're going to collaborate with your team. That's the type of help. You're going to look for advice from your team, because your team are the subject matter experts, or should be the subject matter experts, as it relates to the tasks that they are required to perform. So that's not the asking for help part of what I'm talking about. It's when they say, ask your sponsor for help, or go to your sponsor for advice, or refer to your sponsor for what are your next steps. As a project manager, your sponsor has chosen you to lead the project. They're looking for you to have the answers and the solutions, and they want you to come back to them with what's the best route to take to resolve the issue that you have in hand. So if your questions are telling you to go and ask the sponsor for support or for help or for anything like that, you might want to mark those as a red flag that that's possibly not the right answer. And then you have the budget ones. So I'm sorry, not the budget, but you have the timeline. So don't delay, right? You don't want any answer choices. You don't want to select any of the answers that talk about delaying the project. You might have answer choices that say, well, put the project on hold until this happens, or stop everything until you can resolve this issue. You don't want to delay the project if at all possible. There may be some scenarios and situations where the project requires a delay, but typically these questions or the answer choices on the exam, if you see anything about delaying the project, that's usually not the correct answer, right? And so the other part of that is don't do nothing. And that's a double negative, right? So that means, actually it means always do something. If your answer choices are talking about ignore the solution or ignore the problem until and hope that it goes away, stay away from that as an answer choice. Or uh, pass it on, or wait until, or anything that talks about you not taking any action, that's not a good answer choice to select for that particular question. And so that kind of covers the deny part of the ADC. Again, don't hire, don't fire, don't ask for help, and don't ask for, don't hire, don't fire, don't ask for help, don't ask for money, don't delay, and don't do nothing. Once you burn those into your brain and understand what they mean, it'll really help you knock out, eliminate, at least 2, maybe even 3 of the 4 answer choices that are there. And so finally, the last part is the C, comply. And so what that simply means is, once you have the answer choices narrowed down to your 1 or 2 answers that could possibly be it, you want to make sure that the answer that you end up with complies with the PMI practices and standards. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about anything that has to do with just the basic PMI practices and standards, or if it talks about laws or regulations or rules that you have to follow that may come through on your project that may have been unexpected, legislation changes, or anything like that. Your answers that have to do with applying that should be the answer that you choose. And so you're going to go through this process. You're going to learn how to break down these questions. The PMI exam questions have a lot of, I would consider, additional information. I wouldn't call it unnecessary, but it's additional information on these questions. And so you want to learn how to break these questions down and really get down to what the question is asking. Who is it asking of? Is it asking of the project manager, of the product owner? And then what does it want them to do? What is the best scenario? What is the first thing they should do? Things like that. So those keywords like best or first, if you see best or most efficient or most probable, that typically means that there's going to be a couple of answers in there that are correct, but you want to find the best one. Or if it says the first, that typically means that a lot of those question answer choices are going to be correct, but you have to kind of put those in order of what would the project manager, or what should the project manager do first. And so once you learn to break those questions down and really understand what the root of that question is, what is that question actually asking, Then you can apply the ADC methodology, apply the PM in the Agile mindsets. You want to deny based on those 6 characteristics or 6 criteria. Don't hire, don't fire, don't ask for help, don't ask for money, don't delay, don't do nothing. And then your final choice or your final criteria or selection criteria is, does it apply to the, or does it comply with the PMI practices and standards? So I know that was a lot. I know it's a lot to think about, but watch the video again and really understand what I'm trying to say to you here is that on these scenario-based questions, where it sets up a scenario for the project manager to resolve an issue, this is when you use the ADC uh, technique to really drill down and get to the right answer. And if you learn this and apply this, you will get the answer correct 100% of the time. I'm telling you, I was taking all kind of practice exams and I didn't have this method down in the beginning, and it was tough. I was not making the percent scores that I wanted to make on these exams, so I was starting to feel a little bit discouraged, and I was wondering if I was, studying the right things. But once I learned once I was able to create the ADC methodology, I was knocking out these questions, getting them right every single time as they relate to these scenario-based questions. So if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're not quite sure, try this method, see if it helps you out, and then, maybe tweak it up or, add your own swag to it and figure out what works best for you. I'm telling you, you can do it. The test is long and the test can be difficult, but if you have the right technique and you know how to break these questions down and you know how to figure out and apply the ADC technique to them, you'll find success in your project management path. So good luck to you. Looking forward to hearing. Maybe you guys want to chime in on the video and let me know what you think about this methodology that I just explained. And if you are, let me know when you're getting ready to take your exam, or even if you have any questions, I'm here. So again, thanks for watching. Please like and share. I'm trying to grow my channel, trying to get more followers because I want to keep providing valuable information for project managers in the project management industry or field. So thanks, guys. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Talk soon.